Mental illness is a huge part of this story, obviously. It's, we really, we're trying to pitch the series as a mental illness series. The main character, myself, I suffer from bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder, as well as, traits of narcissism and histrionic personality disorder and temporal lobe epilepsy. So there's tons of different diagnoses that come into hand and have a play in this story. And if you look at the real the original Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, a lot of his characters and Peter Pan all sort of have these traits too. Peter Pan does kind of pull people in and then push them away, and it's all very symptomatic of something borderlines would do. We're trying to defeat mental illnesses with this. We're trying to show that borderline personality disorder is not it's not fatal attraction. It's not this scary thing. It's a human thing. It's like everybody's got their something.
I love the subject matter. As far as the issues of mental illness and sexual deviance, like I said, I think that there are important issues that have to be addressed in today's society, and they are themes that are timeless, and so that's why I think that this is something that you could always go back to and learn something new from.
I think the subject matter was very relevant to what's going on today in society. I mean, you have mental illness, depression, suicide. Those are a lot of things that's going on right now. Robin Williams, he had issues, and he committed suicide because he couldn't handle it all. So I think it's very relevant to what's going on.
The subject matter of the film is very difficult to swallow when you first hear about it. I mean, first see it or anything. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, but it's just to know that like people actually go through this. It's very it's very sad. It's very touching. It's kind of just like you want to be that person's savior. Everyone wants to save someone, but it's a story that needs to be said and people need to know about, because some people are just like, some people go through these experiences and push it behind and forget about it and kind of just like don't understand that these experiences make you a better person, make you learn down the road things about yourself. So
it's not a documentary and it's not a reality show, but it is an honest portrayal, and I wanted it to be as honest as possible for the people who would know what this is like. Because I mean, so many times I see things about bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder, and I'm like, that is not a way the person would act. And I mean, there's a level of offense that goes along with it, and you can't be offended if it's me, because believe me, I know the issues, I know the struggles.
Yeah, I'll just say this for myself. I am a person who also don't really believe in the whole title, because I don't know. I guess I'm over titles. Like, this person has to be called this because they're this. This person has to be called that because it. I have respect for whatever is at hand. I'm not big for titles. I think that the whole subject of heterosexual versus homosexual conversation, I mean, people talk about it. I mean, it's not even just that, it's also with race as well. Like someone will look at me and or someone who's not very knowledgeable of races might look at me and just think I'm just another black person, and really I'm not African American. I'm more so multi-ethnic. So it's just like the whole label thing. Like, it's just, I'm not really for it. I think it's a good subject that's at hand, and it'll bring out a lot of like ignorance towards that subject. So
the Peter Pandrew series is definitely not one to be taken lightly. It definitely is an intense experience dealing with things such as mental illnesses, abusive relationships, social stigmas, it definitely has a full package, but I think it's extremely pertinent to the modern day just because it has these issues that I think we should be exploring more in depth and be more investing in terms of our time and our money. And I think Peter Pandrew definitely serves as that flagship.
Okay, I think the subject matter is great. I think that it's things that people need to talk about. My favorite monologue is when Andrew is talking to this man that he prostitutes himself to, and I think it's a really good monologue. It's so true and pertinent to society, and it's so great. And okay, so the first time that we were rehearsing, we had all just met each other. We were reading the script, and then Andrew read that, and we were all just reading the stuff, and he read that monologue, and then we just started clapping because it was so good.
The subject matter is something that we can all relate to. I mean, everyone has dealt with someone who has mental illness. Everyone has dealt with someone who has drug problems. Everyone has dealt with someone battling a demon. Everyone has dealt with someone, or even dealt themselves with being told who to be, how to feel, trying to be jammed into a mold that society deems fit for you. And from what I gathered from this project, it was just people completely unable to be jammed into that mold.
A lot of fun. It was great therapy for me. That's something I could say. As was working on the books. So I think that it's always therapeutic to unleash your demons into art, and that sort of helped me tackle all of this. A big theme of the story is suicide and suicide prevention. And right before I made the decision to turn this into a pitch for a series, there was a guy who had contacted me about doing the audiobooks, and he loved this series so much. He was telling me how much he related, and we had talked about it for a while, and he killed himself. And it hit me pretty hard, that someone who related to my work that much had taken their life. And so many people involved in Peter Pan have always taken their life. The original boys that this is based on, that Jay and Barry based this on, 3 out of 5 of them committed suicide, I believe is the statistic. Michael Jackson, who has a strong connection to Peter Pan, took his life. The person who voiced the Peter Pan cartoon, he died very young. And Robin Williams, he just took his life as well. So I feel like suicide has been a big curse almost that has to do with Peter Pan. And I just wanted to tell a story that can maybe relate to people and find people who are looking for this, that tells them that they're not alone, and that can offer this sort of hope, not that it's always going to be an easy road, and I'm not going to say that, I'm never going to cycle back into depression or anything like that. It's always a constant struggle, but that at least I can do this, and I can function, and I can create this art, and maybe, that other people out there who are struggling with it can do it too. One person once said to me, like, what makes your story special? Like, tons of people go through this, and I was like, exactly. That's exactly what makes this special, is that tons of people are going through this, and it needs to be spoken about, it needs to be told. This is a story that needs to be brought to light. And I know that Glenn Close is involved with an organization called Bring Change to Mind that defeats mental illness stigmas. And, after making Fatal Attraction, which is a great movie, but it sort of paints borderline personality disorder as a horror comedy. And that's not what borderline personality disorder is. Borderline personality disorder is, these people are just humans, and they all deserve the love and respect that everyone else deserves. So I think that it's just important that films like this get made to show the true side of it, and that, that people aren't crazy. They're human.
It's just really dark. It's just really dark stuff, but it's super interesting. It's crazy what kind of lives certain people live. as you live your own comfortable life in your own little bubble, it's crazy what's actually going out there. And this is a definite must-watch movie. Sizzler reel trailer, whatever you want to call it. It's a lot of fun. It's certainly a roller coaster up and down, and I mean it gets the dark out of all of us. And if you have a dark side, if you have a yearning for dark material, this is the thing to watch. This is it.
It's just a trend going on right now, and I think if we could apply this to Peter Pan, and we really have something here.
This is it, man. This is it.